Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Welcome home, Brains. There's only one requirement to hang out on the edge, is that you open your big brain and close your small mind. Did you bring your thinking caps? It's time to put them on, because the conversation starts now. So Sarah, what do you do? Tell me, what is a typical day there in Peru? When you wake up, how do you start your day?
Well, at the moment, I'm in Colombia, so obviously just another part of South America. I know why you said Peru, because that's where my retreat is. I don't really have a typical day, so because being a hypnotherapist that works online, I mean, there's so much to that. So aside from my actual client hypnotherapy sessions, I have all of my client support sessions because I offer coaching and therapy as part of what I do. And then there's all the things just to do with running and building an online business, creating content to put out and build it. I'm working on my YouTube channel. So I really, what needs doing? Who has booked in, and what needs
Exactly.
doing?
What is
Yeah.
average these days? There's nothing quote unquote normal these days. Well, welcome back to On the Edge with April Mahoney. This is the place where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. And we have Sarah Griffiths back with us. I originally connected with her when she was down in Australia, Brains, and now she's moved to Colombia, and she's going to be talking to us about the amazing new modality that she has added to her work. She is a therapist that rapidly helps people recover from trauma and abuse using hypnotherapy. All of us have been traumatized at one point in our life, some more severely than others. Some just can't get over it. Some don't have the tools. But working with this beautiful woman right here, I'm telling you, you can't do anything but soar. And she's got, again, like I said, this new modality working with plant medicine. I want you to explore this and understand this because, again, I'm speaking from a place of ignorance. I've never used plant medicine, but I've got an idea, so I've got some great questions for us. Please help me welcome her back to the show, Sarah Griffiths. How are you, beautiful?
I'm really good. I'm really excited to be here. Yeah, thank you for having me back because, so much has happened since I think I was talking to you 18 months ago. I know we've communicated a bit in between, but such a lot has happened in that time. Yeah,
I mean,
very happy to be here.
we've had COVID, and you've moved locations from Australia to Colombia. You've added this new medical modality. You've done some amazing work. You've done some work with yourself. You're just glowing. So tell us a little bit about it. Well, let's start at the beginning. For people that don't know you, I'm going to definitely rerun the previous interview, but tell them a little bit about you and how hypnotherapy and becoming a therapist found you.
Yeah, so that was completely unplanned for me, and it was like everything. It was a journey that unfolded, and yeah, I like the way you said earlier that everyone has trauma in their past, and so many people don't even realize it, or when they suddenly realize they realize that it was very bad, and that no wonder it's affected them as it has. And I was one of those people. I had all these unresolved childhood traumas due to being bullied and things that happened in other places, in my childhood, being bullied at school, all sorts of things that happened that seriously affected me, and I had no idea. And it was really as I was living my adult life, realizing that I was in an abusive, narcissistic marriage, that was really controlling and manipulating and diminishing me. And it was a few years ago, about 5-6 years ago now, as I started to kind of look at things and find my way out of that. Because on the surface, like so many people, I looked successful. I looked as if I had all the self-confidence, the success, the wonderful marriage. We're so good at that, for heaven's sake, don't let people know what's really going on.
Oh, right. No, we don't want it. We don't want the cat out of the bag. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil that illusion. And it was really as I started to do that work on myself that I realized how bad my trauma was, how hard it was going to be to get over. And I really started to explore other ways that I could help myself that weren't going to take 10, 20, 30 years, which is what tends to happen with traditional therapy. And it was really a few years ago then that I literally stumbled across hypnotherapy and realized how amazing it was, because all trauma is created and stored in the body and in the subconscious. Realized what a fantastic methodology it was, learned how to use it, and really have just, as you say, just really been soaring and flying from there, not just in my own healing and the way I changed my own life, but in what I can do for other people, how fast I can help people heal and get them unstuck. And that really, the last year, so February last year, it led me to experience ayahuasca, plant medicine, because I was leaving my narcissistic marriage after 25 years.
Wow.
I was leaving the country that we'd emigrated to. I was leaving my whole life. And I just thought, yeah, I'm probably going to need a bit of support here. So I went and did some ayahuasca, and it was life-changing for me. What it did was absolutely mind-blowing in the speed with which it helped me change and put the past behind me and become someone who really could move forward in a very significant way.
Well, let me ask you a couple questions, because you touched on some very key points. You talked about, your childhood.
Yeah.
That is on the lips of everyone now. Generational trauma.
Yeah.
Generational trauma, and again, you may not feel, brains, that you have been traumatized. But you have. You just haven't identified with it. But your ancestors, things that your mother experienced, things that your mother's mother experienced, that your father. Look at people that are addicted to drugs, that are predisposed to maybe diabetes, that are people that are predisposed to alcoholism. That is generational trauma. And it surfaces in so many different ways. Sometimes it causes devastation, it causes depression, it causes anxiety, it causes you to be, brutal to your spouse or to your children. So many things. So I wanted to touch on that so people just kind of realize and you identify with it. Don't feel that there's a shame associated with it. And then also another component you touched on was therapy. I've never been therapized. I've talked to a therapist, but I've never been in therapy. So I come again from a place of not knowing. But sometimes I see that people, again, have talk therapy for 10, 15 years over an experience that they've lived 20, 25 years. So now you've got 30 or 40 years stuck in the same isolated place, feeling the same way, maybe still medicating, still going to the same therapist, but you're never getting a breakthrough. So Sarah, you're doing, again, this advanced technology, work with hypnotherapy, but you're also using ayahuasca. Now, we're all caught up. Please tell us, what is ayahuasca?
So ayahuasca, I mean, it's becoming a bit of a buzzword. It's becoming more and more popular as people are realizing what it is. I mean, the ancient tribes of South America have been using ayahuasca as part of their medicine, as just as part of their way of being for millennia. It's just a part of their culture and what they do. And what we've realized in the West is that ayahuasca, it's a plant that you drink. It has psychedelic properties. But that when it's taken in the right way, with the right preparation, support, and integration, and I say those, I cannot stress the importance of those, when it is taken properly, when it is administered by a shaman who knows what they are doing, it has the ability to really, really shift the things that you are stuck with, because they're all you. They're your ego, they're your subconscious, they're all the things that you're stuck with due to fear, due to not wanting to take responsibility, due to not wanting to kind of accept that you have a role to play. All of those things, the ego is in the way. And what the plant does, when you kind of take it and you have intentions, when you've worked on your intentions and you know what you need, even if what you need is to get unstuck, the plant works with your subconscious and it shows you exactly what you need to do. And the healing, it will allow you to do the healing there and then, to release what you need to release, see what you need to see, embrace what you need to embrace. It is phenomenal. And I am blown away by what it is when used correctly. Like everything in the West, you know, we have this, we never learn, do we? In the West, we have to see and conquer, right? See, conquer, change, adapt. We can't see what's perfect and say, this is wonderful.
Right, right.
Exactly as it is. So we need to be a part of what it is. No, we try and take it and turn it into something else. So we have to be very careful, because there are lots of ways that ayahuasca is being promoted and used now that it was never intended for, and there is concern about that. But in the right setting, used in the right way, it is a powerful healing tool. And the retreats I've done this year where I gone.
No, I was just saying, it's just saying that now they are really trying to, they've legalized marijuana, and now they want to legalize magic mushrooms.
Yeah.
There's nothing to play with. Psychedelics, but psychedelics were back in the hippies, back in the 60s, and all they wanted to do was love one another and play music. It puts you in a trance type state. So is ayahuasca the same type of
No, not really. I mean, yes, you can feel amazing afterwards, because you've connected with yourself, because you've removed all the negativity, you've removed fear, you've removed doubt, you've removed all your negative thoughts, you've removed everything that made you think that you were bad, that you were to blame, that there was something wrong with you. So you can imagine how you feel when you remove all of those things. So it's much more about contact, connection, and loving yourself, and then coming from that place, because you show up completely differently when you truly love yourself. But so it's also about,
is this a form of is it a mind altering substance, or more of a mind awakening substance?
Absolutely, it's an awakening of self. It's like seeing yourself and connecting with yourself in a completely different way, which means that you then connect with the world and with other people in a new way too. It is like an awakening, for sure. You see yourself as you really are, rather than who people have told you are.
Okay, but all this, you know, is great. It's exciting to accept who you are. But also, does it give you the clarity to accept your roles and responsibilities for things that you've done and take responsibility for your actions?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It opens up everything. All I can say is that there's a phrase: she gives you what you need. So if I'm doing ayahuasca and let's say I'm doing 4 journeys over a week, each journey will be connected. And I will realize as I receive something in one journey that I couldn't have received it without what I got in the first journeys. So they all build on each other, because it's all coming from you. Your subconscious knows what you need. The plant just allows you to connect with that and allows you to see it happen. But people release huge amounts of anger. They experience really transformational forgiveness for themselves, for others. And they release their sense that they're not good enough. Imagine how that changes how you show up in every area of your life.
Wow.
Where you realize that you are amazing. You are amazing.
Right. Well, that is amazing. So tell us a little bit about the retreats because now you have, taken it to a whole different level. You want to share this with people in a very intimate, controlled setting that
Yeah.
is going to be working with your hypnotherapy,
Yes.
hypnosis, as well as the ayahuasca, as well as a spiritual journey, as well as a great remote location in the hills of Peru. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so when I looked at ayahuasca and the journeys that I did, and I realized that, I mean, I had very, very significant transformations. And I realized that it was probably something to do with the fact that I'm so connected to my subconscious, so aware, because I'm working with it all the time. So I thought, okay, so how do I let other people have this experience? So I thought I'm going to start to run retreats in South America. So we're using an indigenous shaman, we're on the spiritual land, we're in the right setting, doing all the right things. But I want people to be really prepared and connected, just like I was. And afterwards, when you have this big shift, it's very hard just to go back into your life by yourself. You need someone to help you with the changes that you've made. So I set mine up so that people work with me beforehand. Then we have time on retreat in South America. And then they get prep time with me, integration time with me afterwards. So it's over about 8 weeks. We do a few weeks prep. We do a couple of weeks on location, and then we do the integration work afterwards. And the one I'm doing in Peru at the moment, that's in July. 7th of July, that starts in Cusco. That's an incredibly unique one, different to the ones I do in Colombia, because I've collaborated with someone else who has connections because of his 20 years in plant medicine. He has connections to very rare and hidden tribes. He speaks their dialects and is a part of what they do. I would not be able to bring what I'm bringing in Peru by myself, because we're going to start for a few days in Cusco, acclimatizing, and then we're actually going off into the jungle, and we are going to be doing 3 ayahuasca ceremonies in the tribe, on the tribal land and the ceremonial space of a couple of tribes. And we're bringing in a couple of master shaman from the Shipibo tribe in Peru. I mean, I could never have done it without him. It's something that is off the charts, completely not available commercially, just something really unique that has been pulled together.
Well,
So,
a lot of people can be fearful of this, and I say this with respect. It's a different country, it's a different dialect. And when you're dealing with indigenous tribal people, it's very sacred. I've had the opportunity to work with Native Americans. They just don't let anybody come in, brains. Okay, I don't care how much money you have. It's not about money. It's about your intentions. It's about your spirituality. It's about your energy. It's about what you're looking to unfold, because sometimes people are there for totally the wrong reasons, for commercialization. They're not there and they're not sincere. So if you are selected, because you can't just be anybody that does this, you have to work with Sarah. She has to vet you to make sure that, again, that you are bringing the right energy and the right intention, and this is really something that you're ready for. You have to be ready for this experience. You can't just be, oh, okay, well, I'm upset and, I want to leave my husband or whatever, and I'm going to go get some ayahuasca. No, this is not like going to get a bottle of wine from the liquor store. Okay, this is really transformational work that is going to last you a lifetime. But how many times can you do this ayahuasca? Because how clear can you be before you become translucent?
Well, and that's the thing, isn't it? Our personal growth is limitless. Where do we want to go? So for me, it started off with my first 4 journeys, which I did last February, gave me the insight and the courage and the strength to leave my marriage. But since then, I did another 3 journeys in February because in those months then I changed so significantly. I reached another massive milestone in my life, and I just thought, yeah, I'm on the cusp of something else here. I really want to sit with the plant again. And then I did it back in February as well, and that was still about my husband. I realized that I was stuck in my business, that there were things that I wanted to do, and I didn't know what was holding me back. So I did ayahuasca, and it turned out that there were things still to do with my marriage. If you'd asked me in my conscious mind, I would have said, I've resolved those, I've forgiven him. But clearly, when I did the plant, I hadn't. And she allowed me to see it all and to release it all and to just soothe me, really, to soothe and console me is what I need as well.
That you use, you say, sit with the plant, and you refer to it as her.
Yeah.
Why?
Because she's part of Mother Earth. She's full of wisdom, full of love. For me, my ayahuasca journeys are like walking with a best friend who knows what I need to see, knows what I need, and will not let up. She'll let me argue gently, but then she's forceful in what she gets me to do.
Are you in a trance-like state?
You are in an altered state, but I mean, and it depends. The journey varies. Sometimes you can be in a journey and you are just in the journey and you're really not aware of what's going on around you. You wouldn't really move about, but there are other parts. I've spent other parts of a journey, most of the journey, walking around the garden, just communing with her, just seeing what I need to see. Things just drop in, realizations. Just it depends. They're all very, very different. Sometimes they'll be very psychedelic. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're very emotional. Sometimes they're very gentle. She gives you what you need. I've experienced everything from a very calm, beautiful, peaceful journey where I still had an amazing transformation to a journey that at the time, see, there's no such thing as a bad journey. People say, oh, I'm afraid of a bad journey. What does that mean? Because even if you don't enjoy what's going on at the time, believe me, my last journey where she made me look at everything and forgive my ex-husband, I didn't enjoy that journey, but wow, did I enjoy the freedom afterwards.
Okay.
So it gives you what you need.
All right, gives you what you need. Is there a medical physician there? I know that there's a spiritual shaman there. But I mean, people's heart rate can drop. They can maybe trip out because of the psychedelic. I know it's in a controlled environment, but is there also medical support there as well?
When I do my ones in Colombia, yes, the little boca, the little jungle, the shaman, and the people that I work with there, very close to the town. I mean, obviously take all your medical details and everything, but the one we're doing in Peru, no, that's going to be deep in the jungle in Peru. So we will just be out in the jungle. So yeah, that's going to be a bit different.
Bring some bug repellent.
Yes, definitely. Definitely going to be some of that.
But yeah, the altitude, the water, the food, all of that is going to be an adjustment for you brains. So tell me, who would be the ideal person to go on one of these journeys with you?
That's going
for everybody, and everybody is not ready.
No, they're not. So there might be people listening to this that go, wow, it just drops in and they just go, wow, yes, I've been stuck. I've been struggling to do so. It could be people who've been thinking ayahuasca and are looking for a safe, trauma-informed. That's important. Not many places are trauma-informed. Obviously, I'm a trauma-informed. I work with trauma. It's very important. People want the safety of all the support, the prep, the integration. really people who are struggling to find a way through, and probably people who are looking to be more connected to themselves. They may not even know they need to resolve trauma. That doesn't matter. But I think people listening to it will know. People who are very interested in the adventure, you know, the adventure side as well.
It is
this one in particular, going deep into the jungle.
That have experienced, PTSD, military personnel that just can't find the breakthrough, that have seen so much death and destruction, maybe police officers that have seen destruction, women that or men that have been sexually assaulted or sexually abused, people that have been kidnapped. I know people that have been kidnapped. I have a former guest that was on the show that was under the mind control of a guru for 30 years. And again, she drives past this house every day to go to work. She's still under the spell. She'll speak of the guru's name and you just see her whole composure, everything change. She wants a breakthrough. So those are some of the people I think that could maybe, and that's just from my opinion, could really benefit from doing some really deep work, that really want to break the chains that bind them.
And I find that people who are gay, they suffer a lot from being shamed and being made to feel they're not good enough. There's something terribly wrong with them. I've had a couple of gay people go on the retreats who literally said to me, if I hadn't gone, I was suicidal, because they just see themselves in such a reduced way. But also women who are stuck in their businesses and they don't know why, and it's all down to how they see themselves, that they just don't believe, and you can set all of that free as well. So it's such a wide variety, but as you say, it's not for the faint-hearted. I would say for me it's like pulling out the nuclear weapon, this combination of ayahuasca and hypnosis. I mean, it's dynamite. It's really amazing. I said to someone recently, it would be like if you imagine if you're laying a road and you've got a big massive rock in front of you, and you can either stand there with a hand drill or you can blast it with dynamite. So we're bringing the dynamite.
Wow, she's about to blow you up, Brains. Are you ready? Are you ready? You better get ready, okay? Because again, but then when she blows you up, there's a million splendid pieces there.
Yep.
And so it clears the path.
It does.
This is exciting. I don't know. Again, like I said, I'm taking baby steps. I don't know if I'm really ready to get blown up, but I'm getting ready to get pumped up. And I think that even if you are not ready for this journey and this experience, working with Sarah can do no harm, because she's clear. She's cleared her own path. She's been there. She's done that. She knows what it takes. She works with people. She's phenomenal. I mean, her shows, when she's on the edge, they go through the roof. She's got a huge following there in Australia, but this is global. This is all over the world. And now that the world is opening up, after this pandemic, that this is the perfect opportunity to reinvent yourself, to have some clarity, to venture out into something new, because that was the perfect pause. And if you did nothing else during the time of the pandemic, you had time for self-reflection. You had time to journal. You had time to go back in the photographs of your mind and say, hey, was this really worth it? Maybe I should slow down. Maybe I should spend more time with my kids. Maybe I should stop drinking. Maybe I should stop drugging. Maybe I should go on a trip, psychedelic or in an airplane. This is the perfect time to reset yourself. Please, Sarah, tell my brains how to get in contact with you. If they want to work with you one-on-one, if they want to get more information on the retreat, if they want to get more information on ayahuasca. This is just really exciting.
So the July retreat, I do have a couple of spaces left, and all of the information is on my website. So that's sallyg.com. That's the name Sally with the letter G mindfulness.com. It's all on there. And what people can do from there, because obviously the retreat, as you said, it's not the only way to work with me. And my clients are all over the world because all my sessions are virtual, except the retreats. And from there they can book in, they can spend free time with me. You know, I know that even my sessions are not for the faint-hearted. They're extreme. And I always talk to people before they work with me. I never just start working with people. I want to make sure we're a good fit, want to make sure they're ready. But even if people want to find out more about what's going on for them, what sits behind it, because a lot of people don't understand, you know, and some people will be excusing what happened to them, saying, well, I don't know why I feel so bad. I feel like I'm making a fuss. It probably wasn't that bad. And we discover that they've had terrible traumas that they are diminishing, because that's what we're all taught to do. It's like we said in the beginning, heaven forbid that we should, you know, expose the reality of things.
I want to touch on one more thing before we close. I hear a lot about the Akashic records. Tell me a little bit about that, and what really is that? I'm not really clear.
Yeah, I've heard of them. I don't work with them.
Okay.
You really need someone who specializes in that. But Akashic records are, as far as I know, I mean, I'm sure someone will correct me. But from what it's like you said in the beginning, generational trauma is real. And I think Akashic records are looking at your past, your generational, what you've inherited generationally, what's happened, to try and have a look at where you are now. Okay. So I think that's what they are. I don't work with them, but I have heard. So, yeah.
Well, Brains, you know, you have to sit down and you have to sit with yourself and you have to look and say, okay, this is where I am. You've got to find a starting point. You know, you've got to stop the nonsense if you want to live the life that you were designed to live. Because I don't believe that this is the end. I believe that there are past lives, and I believe that there's future lives. And I believe that you're going to have to sit with this, and if you don't learn the lesson this time, and you didn't learn it last time, you're going to have to reinvent it again. But wouldn't it be amazing to be able to just soar and expand to the next level, to the next state of consciousness, to meet that other 80 or 75% of the subconscious mind that you don't even know, to release this trauma, to release this pressure. You know, it's like someone's got their foot on your head or their knee on your neck. And so they're cutting off your oxygen. Allow yourself to breathe. And this right here is the perfect ticket. This is the perfect person to help you. Thank you so much for being here on the edge, Sarah. I just enjoy you so much. You are so smart. You're so heady. And, you know, you're very adventurous. And I'm so proud of you that you've taken the journey yourself. You know, again, I just heard what you said. You took an ayahuasca 7 times. Girl, I mean, you should just be just there. But as you said, you keep unfolding. You keep renewing yourself. So thank you so much. I'm going to put all of your contact information at the end of this video. In addition to that, it will be down at the bottom. There is going to be retreats. Now, how often do you do the retreats? Is it like once a quarter?
Yeah, so I'll have another one in November. In September, definitely. It won't be like this one. You know, they're kind of 5 days on location, 8 days on location in Colombia, but not in the jungle with a rare tribe, you know, which is going to be a completely unique experience. Still amazing. People have had incredible transformations from them. The next one will be September. I might do one in November, but it depends. I really need to get back to Australia and see my boys. So I think after that, it will be early next year. So
well, it's going to be ongoing, because this is not something that you can start and stop.
No, it's ongoing for sure. Yeah, I love the results. I love seeing what it does for people. Too much to stop. And the other thing is, if anyone wants to come as a couple, imagine doing this as a couple. I would just love. Wish I had someone in my life to do that with. But anyway, that's an option. There is a discount for couples. And yeah, I would love to see a couple come along. That would be fantastic.
I would love for that to happen. Please keep me informed. Let me know. I shared some photographs of your last experience on the webpage. I want people to really kind of see and get an idea, because you're not staying at the Ritz, Brains. You are roughing it. You know, you are roughing it. You are going down deep. You are going to the core. You are going to be hiking. You're going to be eating, different types of food. So just be prepared for that. Don't think that this is just some quick little vacation that you're going to have. You are really going to be going back in time to some ancient wisdom. Thank you so much for being here on the Edge, Sarah. I love you. I adore you. Keep me informed, okay?
Thank you so much. I really appreciate catching up, and the chance to tell everyone what I'm doing, because our mental health approach and system needs such an overhaul. It's great to be able to get out there and say what I do. Thank you.
All right. Be good to yourself, Brains. I'm counting on you.